Kinfolk, what goes on? What goes on? We are here again. I am editing this episode that you're about to look at about what men say. This is What Men Say Part 2. I hope you looked at Part 1. If you didn't look at Part 1, go ahead and go to the channel, and all the videos that we've downloaded so far should come up. You know, we're going to be doing this once a week, so we will be downloading an episode once a week. Which can you expect in this video? Let me think. A lot of vulnerability. You know, you'll hear a lot of their perspective of what it's like out here in these streets for them. You know, what they don't really get to talk about, you know, and, you know, I appreciated that they sat and they talked about it with me. And, you know, I was able to kind of be there, you know, throw some questions in that I would think that people would want to ask, and I would ask them. I'm trying to be as unbiased as possible, knowing that that's not always possible for me. I'm working on it. But yeah. So I always say, listen with, you know, an open mind. Subscribe, share. Most important, share and comment. You know, comment. I want to know what you guys think. You know, again, just because this is the men talking, and you might be a man, you might not agree with what you say. You might say, oh, they were spot on. That's what I said. But then again, that might not be it. You know, we welcome all perspectives. Again, this is to open up conversation. And that's solely what it is. It's to open up conversation and to maybe say some things that you're not comfortable saying in certain settings, you know, hearing a different perspective. So I don't want to talk your ears off. I want you guys to sit and watch them chop it up and listen. And I think that this episode, I wasn't really happy with the video quality. So what I'm doing with this episode is, you know, we're taking some stills and then we're just going to put them with the audio. The audio came out pristine. So we're going to go ahead and have that, but you'll have something to watch. And this is What Men Say Part 2. Again, I won't say take it with a grain of salt, but take it as their truth, okay? And take it as me being the facilitator. But then again, I'll drop a couple of truths that I have. Again, you may not listen to them, but I'm on the team of, you know, the kinfolk. I'm not on anybody's team. I'm on the team of what makes sense to me, you know? And again, I'm the mediator. I try and clarify some things, try to make sure everybody is heard. And if you hear me say, oh, okay, I understand that. Okay, I get that. Don't mean I understand it. It's just that I've comprehended it the way that they intended me to comprehend it. So if you hear somebody say, women ain't shit, and then I'll go, I understand. I ain't agreeing with what they say, mind you. I'm just saying that I understand what their intent is. So we're going to go ahead and get into this. Child, we're going to go ahead and get into this What Men Think Part 2. Remember, just to support the movement and just to support more conversations and more, you know, felicitations about conversations, subscribe, share it with somebody. Start these conversations, and one day you might be sitting with me chopping it up. You know, you never know. You never know. You never know. You never know. So go ahead and dive in. We'll see you soon. Later. My first topic is, I asked about, okay. Okay. What do you wish people knew about being a black man? What do you wish people knew that you think they got it effed up and they just got it? What is it like out here? You tell me.
That is not easy as we make it look.
Okay.
You know, I look at it as it's me being the oldest of the bunch, that we have a certain swagger, as we say, or a certain style in the way we carry ourselves. So we make things look easy a lot of times.
Okay.
But that's our persona we have to put on to make ourselves look a certain way in front of everyone. So it's not easy being a black man.
What isn't easy about it?
I'm the wrong to ask that question.
Okay.
It's because I think it's easy because it's effortless. Like we was built for this. You feel me? Like nothing really fazed me. I'd have been shot. I'd have been all kind of situations, stabbed, ran over by cars. Moms was like,
Well,
she
I
a good
want to
mom and
hug
shit.
you right now.
All right, what the hell was easy about
like
that?
it's the world.
But what was easy about that?
Yeah, I know.
that wasn't easy.
I'm here.
That part. So it wasn't easy.
I mean,
You did that. You
but
you
it
know how to
wasn't
survive.
like, you know how movies make seem like down and out, and like, oh, he made it through this triumph. Like, I never felt like that.
Well, that's a little different. I think that's more of us. We know how to survive.
That part.
Being survivors is something that we are, because that's the difference. Where if you're rich and you go broke tomorrow, you already know about eating water with cereal.
That
ain't
part,
nothing
like,
to you.
that's why I
It's
don't care.
Back
Like,
to the
I know
grind.
we're broke. I know-
Right. You know what
Like,
being
I used
broke
to-
is.
We used to
Where-
have in buckets at one point.
That's
in time.
what I'm saying.
Because
So
the water was off.
Right. So that's where the difference
But, like-
come in at. So that's more of just knowing how to survive. You know how to survive. And
That's a
that's
good
something
point,
we were
though.
built to do.
That's a
Not
good
that
point.
we're built for.
If you're talking about survival, black men definitely got a PhD in that.
Facts.
But as far as thriving is concerned, I think that's the part where we tend to struggle a bit, right? You know, you look at the difference between a black man existence and a white man existence, right? A white boy gonna come up, and not all white boys, but a good amount of them. They gonna come up, they uncles, they daddy, they cousins, they gonna go, hey, we gonna support you, whatever you're doing. You might be the worst football player out there riding the bench, but we all gonna come to the game 50 deep. You can't sing a lick, but we gonna still put you on our radio show we produce. You know, it's always gonna be an opportunity for them to do something.
Facts.
Are they family? Are they friends? They're gonna find a way to help them do something. With black men, you gotta make your own way.
Oh, definitely.
And I think that's where the
You
difficulty.
gotta create your own opportunities.
Right. You have to literally create your own opportunities out of nothing in a lot of cases. You know, it ain't nobody that's coming before you. And, after you do it, you still, everybody going to be looking at you to help them do it. Whereas, white boys, I'll say, after they make it, they family ain't looking to them like, hey, well, now you got to do this for us because they already good. You see this a lot in football, right? A lot of survivor's remorse in sports, right? Whether you're a football player, basketball player, you make it, you get successful. Now the whole family is looking at you when you still 22, 23, 25. Even when you're 30, you still a baby. Yeah. But now everybody and their mama looking at you for support. Whereas, you take a white athlete, he make it, but his family was pretty much good before he made it. Yeah, now they better.
Yeah.
But they not looking at him for their survival. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's a very different type of existence that black men have to deal with, and they got to carry that burden. You know what I mean? Like you just said, yeah, you done been shot, stabbed, but the fact that you had to be shot and stabbed, right?
Right.
Like, why that had to be a part of your existence? The average white boy ain't worried about being shot and stabbed. He just worried about what college he gonna go to, what chick he gonna marry, but he ain't thinking like that,
Dang.
Maybe
that's the issue because I don't know what they think because I just think me.
Right.
I mean, but you just got to broaden your horizons, though, and just, man, you got to see what they think. That's the key, is knowing what they know.
So it's a harder walk, period. It's a harder existence.
Oh, yeah.
For sure. But it's the only one y'all know.
And like what he was saying, that's actually true. When you really look at that it was mostly, because I'm not gonna say all, but most of the white athletes, when it comes to basketball, is like I said, I don't really watch football like that. I don't really keep up like that. But basketball wise, most of the white athletes, when you look at their story, there's the background is like it's not really there. They ain't really there. They went to, they grew up in a little, good family, support, and then now they're in the NBA. They went to college and now they're in the NBA. Then you see black athletes. Look at Jimmy Butler. If you look up his story, he struggled. He struggled. a lot of black athletes go through that, and then they end up to the league. Yep, look at LeBron.
Well, definitely. I mean, that's all the way around. I mean, but okay, for instance, like,
Come on, man. Don't say that. Come on.
It's another discussion.
Come on.
right? That's a total another discussion, right?
What?
But I can agree with these brothers saying. But like when I started coaching my son's Pop Warner football team, the majority of the parents out there are mothers. And it's
fact, right?
and that's the majority of the mothers. But I know there's a change because I know this dude. I just met you, but I know we're fathers because one thing I'm gonna be to my sons is a father and a daddy. So they don't need this and that. I'm gonna be that. Same with my nephews, his sons, your son. If you, Michael, have kids, if you ever have kids, and they know me, they gonna know Uncle Clay is right here. But that's where it starts at with us, in our home. So it starts with I know what he do with his kids. So when his sons see me, oh, that's Uncle Clay. I got to do the same thing I do when I'm around Daddy.
Gotcha.
Whereas when we growing up in the hood, sometime it's like, shit, put your rag in your pocket, homie. Sag your pants. You dig what I'm saying?
Straight up.
Where it used to be when I was coming up, boy, pick your damn pants up. Where you guys' era was kind of like, you guys kind of did what you guys wanted to do.
Right.
So it's the changes is with us, and the damn so starts with me first, and then it goes down to you guys. Because I think you two are kind of more, you guys are in the same age, and then he's the youngest. So, but that's where it starts at. It starts with us to make our change with us.
Gotcha.
We can't keep pointing the finger at this white man or what they have or what they did. That's
But
to
it's
the
a
side.
different, but it's a different existence.
Oh yeah, definitely that. No question about that. We're not supposed to forget anything.
Right. So, but that opens up to another question I have in here that you actually open the door for.
Okay.
So I know 2 of you aren't fathers, and the 3 of you are fathers, right? Does how you were fathered affect how you father,
Yeah.
Most
or how
definitely.
you will father? How?
Most definitely. 'Cause
How?
You don't have a blueprint.
Okay.
So you actually are learning as you're doing. You don't get a chance to
On the job training.
on the job training. You don't really understand what to do. You just try to revert back to your history of who you are, and then you adjust to what you see.
Okay.
And that's the spectrum of it. Other than that, you out there by yourself.
What about if something wasn't done for you as a child? Do you make sure you do that as a father?
If you're knowledgeable.
Okay.
Sometimes you're not knowledgeable of what you were deprived.
You come to realization of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can
Sometimes
feel that.
in the moment.
In the moment.
In
like
the
for
moment.
sure.
Yeah. And sometimes you got to pull back and be like, okay, hold on, what's happening here, and then adjust. So it's really on the job training for the most part.
Yeah, no, I could agree with that. By being a young man growing up without one, and then having to raise 3 sons.
Tell me about that.
tough.
So
Yeah.
how did you father based on how you were fathered?
Well, for me,
Or lack thereof.
I had a lot of good men in my life, which would be their fathers, one, a few of my other homies' fathers, and all those. So I had a lot of good men in my life that
Yeah, you got
showed
to tell
me a
that
lot.
story.
We'll get to that one. That would be one day. But I had a lot of good, different men that were in my life. So and then I had the ones that wasn't.
That's what's up.
But that's the homies on the streets that's showing me, hustle. That we can piece get. That's the hood. Hustle, get
And they
bitches,
teach you
bang,
too,
and all
though.
that. Right, and they are. But that's what you have to take that and know how to wash it and use what you need and put the rest out.
Exactly.
After a certain time and a certain age in life, we got to filter out what's good for us and what's not. Also, we can't just keep. I can sit here and make excuses. I didn't grow up with no father, so I'm gonna treat my sons like shit. Nah, that's not gonna happen. My son's not gonna grow up to gang bang. My son's not gonna sell drugs. I did all that, so my sons are not gonna do that. That's not gonna happen because I'm gonna make sure of that. I know what it is, and I know the outcome, and I know the end of it. I have a lot of dead homies before I hit 15, 16, and 17, all those ages. So why would I say, I want my son to bang?
For what?
Right. That's something we don't want to. But it's like what V was speaking on earlier. If you're not seeing something different or taught something to them, you're kind of just jumping in here in the pool and trying to swim and teach them how to swim at the same time.
Right.
Yes, sir.
And that's some hard shit to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Or doing what you know and doing what you've always seen.
Right,
And if
that too.
your examples aren't great examples, you find yourself doing what you saw those examples do. If you don't try and make a hard right, it's kind of like having I'm wondering, it's like having maybe an alcoholic parent,
Mm-hmm.
and you're either gonna fall into being an alcoholic, or you won't drink at all. Like if you make that
It's possible,
hard
right.
left,
It's possible.
right?
Very true.
Right.
Yeah,
Very true.
Okay. So who has sons?
I got 2 daughters.
I know you too.
It's bad for me.
Ooh.
It's bad for me.
My
Keep the
heart
pistols
goes out
ready.
to you. I'm about to say.
Keep the pistols ready.
My heart goes out to you, bro.
Bad for me.
So just imagine,
I
even
didn't want.
yeah, you always said that. You glad you had daughters.
Especially
I'm
in
always
this
the
area.
enemy, bro.
No way.
Okay, so
I'm
I
the
want
enemy in my house.
I want
Right.
you guys to imagine you
never have
have
no tissue.
boys.
Oh God, no! Like,
What happened?
with the tissue? There ain't never no tissue when I need tissue.
I told you.
Oh Lord.
Where it's at?
Man.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
If your daughter,
Okay.
how old is your oldest daughter? The one I'm in.
13.
She's so pretty. Okay, so say she's college age.
Okay.
Say she's 20. How would you feel if she walked in the door with you at 20? Would you tell her
20-year-old
to
me?
run? The 20-year-old you said, "Daddy, this might be good." Why?
I wasn't no foul dude. I mean, but how do I say this?
Say it.
I wasn't.
You was
Okay.
20.
I wasn't.
You're 20.
Yeah. I was
Now-
going along to get along.
Define wasn't shit.
Going along to get along, following the crowd, drinking, smoking, doing what's popular or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, making dumb choices even though I knew they were dumb.
Mm-hmm.
Consequences be down, you know.
Okay.
That's not who I want for my daughter. You know what I
Good
mean?
place. I got you.
I wasn't cool.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Mike, if you had a daughter and she walked in the house with you at 20. It better be good. You switching
Prepare
positions.
for it, right?
I'd be fine with it. I think I'd have been fine with it.
Okay.
Me at 20, I was, I was busy, but I was busy in a good way. It was just pretty much sports and school was kind of my main thing. So
Amen.
So the whole came after.
the hoeing had,
It's kind of in between.
the hoeing had to fall in the creases.
The home was happening the whole time.
Right. It never stopped exactly. It was
I got
just
you.
there was priorities. You know what I mean? I always
got you.
understood what my priorities were. So
That's good. That's good.
You got a good head on the shoulder.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Don't ask my man here because I was just yesterday. He was 20. So
I got another question for him, though, and I got another question for the gentleman. And you can imagine you have a son, because I think you can answer this question. If your son came home with his new fiance, right, to introduce you, Mom, Dad, this is my new fiance, I'm gonna get married, and if it's a Megan the Stallion or a Cardi B-esque woman that walks in your house, and he said, I'm getting married, I'm doing this, I'm about to get a mortgage with her, what is your reaction to that? You knowing what she's
Is she
coming
paid?
with. If it,
It's a difference between Cardi B and Megan.
right.
what's-
between Cardi B today and Cardi B.
Yesterday on that stage.
okay,
But there's still a difference between Megan and Cardi.
what's the difference?
By far.
What's the difference?
Landslide.
What's the difference?
No, okay.
And I'm gonna
Well,
come
my
back
question
to you,
would
Jonathan.
be, do they have the money that they have, or they just regular broads, but they like that?
Yeah,
Which one?
They just regular.
the regular bras, but that's how they
how they
roll.
Oh, but they walk in my house looking like a.
Their mind.
That's their mind state.
That they walk in the house looking like a. Or,
If that's what you
attire?
call
Is it the
it.
look? Or are you
Right, that's
talking
what I'm
about the
saying.
look?
Can't
Or
say
you-
that,
what do
sir.
you- what do
well, I'm
you-
getting
You
that.
can't say
There's
they
a-
look
there's
like
a-
hoes. They're free people.
Okay, I get that. But I'm trying to figure out: are they walking in the
Yeah,
house
that's what I'm
looking a
saying.
certain way? How am I judging them?
What are we determining? We determining what they character.
Their mindset, the mindset, the
way they
mindset
carry themselves,
of
the way
But
the
that means
WAP.
we would
If
have to
it's
sit down and
This is
talk.
what I'm dealing
But I'm
with.
saying we would have to sit down and have a conversation first, so I can
And
get
you
to know
and
them.
that you
can't
get
ask
that.
him, man. He
But
like
I'm-
Megan.
Son, I know that
Everybody
box
like
is
Megan.
fire. I know it's fire, but she's not the one to marry.
Thank you for the honest answer.
Right,
I know the box is fire.
right.
I would tell my son that the same thing, kind of. You know what I mean? Like, I know she looks good. I understand. But those are the type of females that you have fun with. That is not the type of female that you try to build your empire with. You get what I'm saying?
Now, some would argue that though they are empire builders.
I wouldn't argue that.
Now, if they are empire, now
If you
think about it like that.
If
No,
you think about it, like I said, it's the difference between Megan and Cardi.
I get that. And if they're empire, we're going to stay right
Maybe.
there. We're going to stay
Cardi.
right there. If they are empire builders with that same mindset they have, is that the mindset that you want to raise your children?
See, but I think
All I'm,
that, I think that question is kind of way too vague because you're saying getting to know them. If I meet them and they kind of have their ways, okay, maybe so. But their mind states is on business and doing this and
What
taking
if
care
it
of that.
ain't
different.
business?
Yeah, they
What
character's
if they work at First King?
Okay, but they have bullet wounds and tattoos.
They
then.
cool.
But you said Cardi and Meg. That's different. Than
Right?
what
But
you
these
you
are
keep saying
these
that,
are
but I ain't
money makers.
seen Meg hit no dude with 500 racks.
What you
But
mean?
that's the difference
For
between Cardi and
birthday.
Meg, though. Meg is
the-
in school. Cardi's not.
Exactly.
But
Meg
That's
is
the
like-
difference.
Cardi is not, but Cardi hit dude for his birthday with 500,000.
But-
Ain't nobody building better than that.
Didn't she buy him
But
some
hold
land
on.
too?
But
And
Cardi,
bought him some land.
bought
but
him
Cardi
land,
was
too.
grimy
And
though.
gave him a baby or two.
Yeah.
But Cardi grimy though.
She can marry my son,
What's
it's cool.
grimy? Where's the
Talking about
grimy?
when she used to rob.
To rob dudes and drug them and all that
was then,
stuff.
but that's a matter of
Is that
circumstance.
then?
Regardless of
then.
what
So,
it is, like
I
I,
think-
I would take a Meg over.
Would you
Cardi
leave
any
your
day.
wallet?
But see, the problem
Yeah,
is
that's
with
what I'm
that.
saying.
If she did, if
How
she
she
wasn't
look?
paid,
Look, I would never judge how you look. Like if you, it's about the brains at the end of the day.
Oh, all
If
day.
the brains is there.
I mean, that's one. And also, do she love your son?
And circumstance.
That's the real.
That's the
thing.
You know what
real
I'm saying?
question. That's
It's
another
do
question.
she love your son?
Hey, didn't
Yeah.
Cardi B was like, she
Packaging
don't let her
that.
kids listen to her music? Why do we?
There you go.
But Meg, and she like person kind of lied on a nigga for shooting her in the foot that didn't get shot in the foot.
Well,
and
that's a
shit.
whole nother situation that we don't know. We
Well, the
ain't
whole
never know
subject,
the
the
truth.
whole
That
subject
whole
is not
thing
about
is
Cardi
That
B
nigga
or
not in
Megan
jail.
Thee Stallion, truthfully.
Yeah,
That
But
nigga not in jail.
the whole thing is like you
was.
said,
he will be
it's
He
what
will
you
be?
just said.
probably
It's
It's
like
taking so long if he shot her.
because they both. That's both money. That's money for you. Don't realize that's a
I don't
bigger
think he got
entity
that
than
much
what we
money,
looking
though.
at. It's bigger than that situation.
Circumstances.
Yeah. See, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
whole nother-
what are you
yeah.
trying to say?
no. What I'm
For
saying
sure.
is what he said too is part of that. Also, we can't let she don't let her kids listen to her music, but we
Okay.
do.
Okay.
So you cut that right there. But at the same time, the whole subject is really not about Megan or Cardi B. It's what kind of women do we want our sons to marry?
Okay. Let's define that.
I think it's more would be on that line.
Okay. Let's define that.
And
Get your top 3 things that you tell your son. Look for these things.
you know what? With me, I've never told my sons that. And mine's more or less, first of all, do she love you? If she loves you and care about you, that's one thing. Now you look at what do you want out of life? What do you want to do with your life?
Okay.
And do you want to marry my son? Do you want to be with my son like that?
Okay.
So
But
that's
let's look at her traits, and I'm
Okay.
gonna come back to you. Pick out 3 traits that you feel like his wife needs to have.
Be submissive.
Okay.
I think that's number 1.
damn.
Oh, Jonathan
Wait, are
went
y'all
in
serious?
the cut. All right.
I'm
Okay.
saying
Y'all serious?
No, I hear you.
That's what men don't tell women that because women don't like.
But
to-
they desire it, correct?
Really?
Yeah.
Most of them.
No.
because
Okay, let him finish.
because a man doesn't really want my bad. A man doesn't really want a woman that's like with the whole alpha male type of personality. Because at the end of the day, I'm an alpha male. So I'm not gonna back down. She's not gonna back down. We're gonna keep bumping heads because there's certain traits to be an alpha male or to be an alpha female that how do I explain this to that it kind of conflicts. You get what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
You're more masculine in a way. So a man does want their women to be a little bit more submissive, more feminine, and the whole money situation doesn't really matter. If a man, the type of like, a man has no problem dating a woman that doesn't really make that much money. You don't need to be a doctor.
That's
more
what I was
stuff.
going to ask you because I've heard that. I have a friend, and I'm always going to refer to my friend. I have a friend, and that's the general guy. The general guy is not a particular person that says that a man will marry a woman that works at a restaurant. She could have gave him good service. They could have had a nice connection. And where she went to school or what her money looked like isn't important. It's how he treats her, how he feels about her, as opposed to what she coming with. But if she's coming with the building mind state, that works for him.
Check this out.
Okay.
If he's a doctor, this is an example. If you're a doctor, if he's a doctor, he goes into, like you said, a restaurant. There's a female, she looks really nice. She looks good. Whatever he likes, that's what she's that. She's working at the restaurant. She don't make as much money as he does. He's a doctor. But like you said, she comes off real friendly. Everything's clicking. He's going to take her. He'll date her.
For sure.
Now, reverse that. You got a woman that she's a doctor, goes to a restaurant. She's not going to pay that guy no mind like that.
I agree.
Because a woman's going to think like, you're not on my level. You're not making as much money.
Yes and no.
Women date up, women don't date down.
You know me.
Women used to date up.
No, right. They're not the same as because every woman I mess with make more money than me. I keep it. I mean,
that's different.
Well, on paper, you dig what I'm saying? On paper,
That's
but
different,
right, but
majority of the time, women date up.
no, I agree with what you said to a degree. But what I'm saying, there's so many women out here that are making more money now and making more money than a lot of men that they are settling and dealing with just whatever they
Is
can
that
get.
settling?
Right.
To a lot, some are, because I know a lot of women and that have great careers and all that, but they're gonna settle for that dude sitting at home smoking blunts, playing video games all day.
Yeah, but here's another
And those
thing.
be the women that they just
No, but I'm saying, but they won't give that guy a chance that's working at McDonald's. Where that's why I can
got
agree what he's saying as far as a man might meet someone working at McDonald's and take the chance of doing something with her, whereas a lot of women might see this guy, he's working at McDonald's, but he's going to school to get himself together to do this and do that, but she's not going to give him that chance.
Gotcha.
And I say more younger women, more in his age group and things like
More
that.
women with more options.
Right. Well, it's
That's
not
what
necessarily
you think.
options.
It is options.
You think so?
Well, that's the opinion. The opinion is that if you're younger, you have options.
Okay, I could get that. But I mean, to me, options present themselves.
I agree with that too. Mike, you were going to say something.
So the idea of settling is an interesting topic too, because it's like you look at Tiger Woods, right? Tiger Woods married. Yeah, he had plenty of options, right?
All day.
He had a lot of options. But the chick he married, what was she, like a nanny? She was somebody else's nanny,
Right.
and he took her, made her his personal nanny, but made her his wife, right? And then had kids with her and all of that, right? Was he settling? Because he could have easily married, some top anchor that was making money like him, or
If for men, it's not seen. That's
Right.
not
Right.
settling
No,
because
so-
that's not a criteria for you guys. And this kind of younger generation, they're kind of looking for a woman with her bag or whatever.
Right,
but
right.
for men in generally men, not to be like this, y'all, but you guys are pretty simple
right.
It's
in
true.
what you want. And if women listen, you guys are fairly simple.
It's true.
And a part of it is that's not a general criteria for men, right? So that's not settling if she works I'm not even going to say a lower class, it's not class, but a lower income position. She might be pulling in 1,000 in tips a night, you don't know.
Right.
But you're not going to discount her
No.
because of where she working.
Right. And so when I speak on it, I'm more speaking of in our generation area where older women, where you guys are still, midway, whereas older women are starting to settle because especially you get a woman, basically 45 and over, she's getting to that point where I need to get married.
Excuse me.
Hey, I'm just speaking on it. I'm speaking on it. Yes or no?
He's
They get to the point of
right.
I'm ready to get
Depends
married.
what their mindset
No.
is.
Besides the point.
No, but I'm saying
Besides other factors.
right,
Besides
right.
other factors.
But they're ready to be married. They want that marriage. They want that ring on their finger. Or even some that don't have kids, they're ready for kids. They want
I
kids.
get that.
Or they just want somebody to come home to
True.
Get that too.
because they got the career, they got the car, they got the home, but they don't have nobody to come. Honey, my day was stressful.
I got you.
You get what I'm saying? So that's why I speak on when I say women will settle. Whereas with us, if I got money and I'm cool and I'm balling, you tomorrow, you next week, you third week. I'm cool. I don't care because I'm going to switch up anyway because I'm not going to stay with nobody for a long period of time because this is what I do. I don't need that.
Why?
Because he has.
'Cause that's
the
me.
The more financially established that the man is, the more option he has.
Is all day.
Okay.
So
Very true.
women are already looking for the dude. It helps. It helps to have more to make
Some.
more money and something like that.
At times.
So
Majority.
women
Majority.
on average want a dude that makes this much money, this and that. So if you're balling, like he said, you're balling, you're already that low percentage of men that's out there.
Well, your looks
So
don't
you
matter
got
then.
more options
Whereas
I
when
gotcha.
like
at that point.
pretty boys, they gonna get women. But we all know beauty fades.
But
Different
you're
things
not gonna get
fade.
the same type of
No,
women
I get what you're saying,
that
but
when
I'm
you
saying
balling.
if you just out here getting down and getting at women, if you or if you know how to spit at women good, you in the game.
Okay, so the same type. So when you talk about women in type, is there a specific type that's higher on that's more upper echelon, and are you an upper echelon type cat? So if a woman, is there a woman not on your level, and what are the
It's all
levels?
personal preference.
Yes, I agree.
How so?
I agree
It's all
with that.
personal preference.
I agree.
There's not
100%.
there's not a scale that says this is perfect
Right.
amongst men across the board.
Not at all.
All men look for things different for
Right.
their personal
Yeah, I agree
criteria of
100%.
who they are and what they're doing.
I agree 100%.
Okay, so we had a submissive here.
Right.
What do you have to add to that?
I mean, I think that's the most general thing that you can say that men across the board want to a certain degree. They do want a woman that's going to play the woman role in a man and woman relationship. It's not about the full, like, it's crazy how the word submission is kryptonite. to
Right,
women.
it is. It is.
It's like, I'm melting.
very,
It's like,
very,
and
very,
for
very.
some, it's not a bother either. You get what I'm saying? But being submissive does not mean you my slave. It just means that I need this taken care of just how you want things taken care of in my aspect of me being the man.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like,
Right.
like modern women want a traditional man and they don't want to be a traditional woman.
Right.
Say that again.
There you go.
So it's kind
Say
of
that
like
again.
what are we doing?
Yes.
You can't ask for a traditional man and you're not a traditional woman.
Right.
Or another
Okay.
way to say it, they want men to submit to their version
Exactly.
of manhood,
Right.
but they don't want
Right.
to submit
Exactly.
to the
There you
version
see.
of womanhood
Now y'all
talking,
expected
see, that's
from
right.
that
Facts.
type of man.
Right.
Okay.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And it's also it's also a cultural thing at times also, because a lot of cultural women, certain women of different cultures, are more submissive and kind of grown for that,
That is
and kind
very
of what would you see, been groomed to do those
Yeah.
things,
groomed
whereas
to it.
others, they've lost it here and there in the mix here and there. But man, I agree with them 100%. So yeah, that
That
submissive
was
word, that's why I was
them
like,
two,
man, that's
that,
like, ooh.
that hit. What
How do
both
you
of
think we
guys
lost
said.
it?
What's that?
It's an American thing. All day.
Our women, black women, being
Well, they lost it at, in my opinion.
Okay.
In my opinion.
That's a good question. And the question is, where do we lose what?
No,
Submissiveness.
submissive, like
Submissive.
in my
a
opinion.
Traditional.
a
Okay.
traditional woman.
No,
Okay.
Where do we
in
lose
this
that?
would be
Okay,
in
in
my
grandma
your
was a
opinion. We're
traditional
going to go
woman.
around
Okay,
in your
this would be in
opinion.
my opinion as speaking on the older one. To me, it was lost 60s, 70s when welfare came into play. You dig what I'm saying? So what happened, basically, tell you what, we're going to give you a check. We're going to give you somewhere to stay. But you got to put him out the house. He can't live here. So that made her, she got to lift weights and be strong. You get what I'm saying? Now she's playing daddy to these kids because daddy can't be in the house.
That's crazy.
So
You dig
can
what
you
I'm saying?
grow and be submissive? Can you
Hell
do
no.
both? Why not?
Who, a man
No.
or a woman?
What was the question? I missed it.
I said, can you grow balls
Can a woman?
and be
No,
submissive?
because first of all, you can never teach me how to be a man. You can help me grow into manhood, but you can never teach me how to be a man.
Okay, I understand that. I'm going to rephrase my question
Okay.
a little bit.
Yeah, I'm still.
Okay, so if I'm that woman and
Mm-hmm.
you come and you have that's a true phenomenon and that happened generations. That man has to get out the house in order for you to get this check
Mm-hmm.
and take care of your family. And unfortunately, we needed that. We needed that economic help. And because, like we talk, if we go back to opportunities,
Mm-hmm.
and you think about what you have the opportunity for, and your fathers didn't have that opportunity,
Mm-hmm.
and which you have now. So that cat is gone. oftentimes he'll come back, right? So because he needs, right? So when he comes back in, and even though she has to, like I said, grow a pair and you know, and be the head of the household in senses, when he comes back in that home, can she revert and be and submit? Now, on paper, she's the head of household. Can he still be the head of household even
What
though
does head of household mean though?
well
Financially or
on paper, financially on paper, like you said again, your money might not be on paper, but you bring food in his house and you do what you need to do. But on paper, she's the head. Like she's the one that has to be on the lease, and she's the one that has to get the health insurance.
Are we talking about in these times, in this day and time?
Well, we can't. It's still relevant today.
That's what I'm saying. So we're talking today in time. I feel like it's on those two individuals.
Okay.
Because for instance, if I'm dealing with a strong woman and I know she's a strong woman, the difference is I know I'm a man. So when I walk in the door, I don't give a shit what you make. I'm the man of this house. I don't give a shit if you bought it or not. You dig what I'm saying? Because the difference is I'm a man. So when somebody come in here, I'm the one that's jumping up, gonna knock their ass out if they come in my house.
That's another
You dig what I'm
thing
saying?
too. I was gonna ask that question because we're supposed to be so equal now. Is there, even though there's equality, what aren't we? What will we never be equal on? What will we never be equal on?
what he just said? I'm the one that got kill a spider and go risk my life
Right.
for a robber and
Yep.
thief.
Every day.
Do you feel like that's appreciated?
No.
No.
It's not appreciated until that robber walks
Right house.
Then
Right.
it's like,
Right.
then it's appreciated.
Right.
Until then, it's not a factor.
Right. It doesn't matter what
And
you
the
do.
thing is, I think, like nowadays, a lot of women, the way that they are, like how he was asking, like when did we lose, like how did we lose that? I think social media, like entertainment, all that kind of added to that.
How
as
so?
far as like influencing younger women that are growing up, seeing, hearing music, you know what I mean, social media, movies, all that is influencing women to be less traditional women.
Yeah.
Less traditional.
Now I would agree in their era. He's
So
correct.
less traditional women.
Because like women like Cardi B, Meg Thee Stallion, the stuff that they're rapping,
Right.
look what it's causing younger women to be like.
Gotcha.
So I can agree.
But you
I
look
can
at
agree
what
in
they
their era.
rapping about, and they not living the lives they rapping about.
Yeah, oh no, they're not.
No. You look at Cardi B, she going home to her husband and her kids, and then at the same time when she go clock into work, she gonna talk about some wet until it's time to get off.
That's what I was saying
that,
earlier.
That reverses
How
back
she don't
to,
let her
that's what I was
kids.
just about to say. It reverts back to what Todd said. Exactly.
It's about money.
Exactly. I agree 100%. It reverts right back to what he said.
What makes
It's
money?
up to us to let our kids to listen to these different things, especially our daughters. You know, and don't get me wrong, sons is
happy I
sons
have
is
a
on a
daughter.
whole different level. But you know, sons, we got to worry about them going out there getting in certain
What'd you
things. But
say?
with the girls, it's almost the
You
same
only
thing now.
have
But
one
I agree
penis
100%
to
what
worry
you're
about.
saying.
When you're a boy, you're a father to a boy. You only have one penis to worry about.
Hell no.
You got to worry
When you
about them
got
chopping their
boys.
penis off. You got to worry about where they
all,
sticking.
man, all that.
Man, but when you got girls, you have a lot of them to worry about.
No, when you got girls, you get extra guns.
Okay.
When you get
So
girls,
let me-
you get pregnant.
Oh Lord.
Man,
That's
Mama's
18
baby,
years.
daddy's maybe.
that boy.
Yeah.
So we talked about less traditional. Okay, so another question. Can you turn a into a housewife? Can you in fact do that?
It's possible.
I think so.
I think
It's
it is
possible.
I think so.
But
Expand.
You gotta be a
it
certain type
takes-
of guy.
yeah.
Right.
It depends on the hoe.
You gotta look at
That
There you
part.
go. There
Is
you
she
go.
hoeing to
Good stuff, bro. Good
survive,
stuff.
or is she
Good
hoeing
stuff,
because she
bro.
like
Bro.
it?
Good stuff, bro.
You gotta
Okay.
you gotta be the type of man that looks at her hold'em as a tool for y'all
Hold
prosperity.
them. I gotta write that.
Yeah, I like that to hold him.
Hey, let's give it up for the holder.
For sure.
Hold 'em.
Definitely.
Is she part time or per diem hoe? That's different.
Yeah, definitely.
Then you know.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm hoeing.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think what he said really matters. That's what it really kind of comes down to. What he said
Okay.
is she doing it for pleasure or is she doing it because she has to?
Okay.
Then the other stuff comes into play, like what type of man are you?
And so,
What's your
you know,
situation?
and listen to him as being the youngest out here. I like what he's saying. And I like where his mind state is of the type of woman he's looking for.
Right.
He's looking at for that traditional more type, but it's more of what he said also. It's the social media and all these different things that's going on. That's the same thing with everything in the streets right now. Period.
Okay.
It's all social media. That's like I know these dudes. I know they know the streets as far as from the gang banging aspect and all that. When you gang banged, it was isolated here. Now gang banging is the whole table because everybody can do it.
Right.
You ain't.
I heard they got Crips in Iowa. What?
But that's everywhere. I mean, that's always kind of been gang. There's always going to be gangs, regardless if it's a Flintstone gang or the whatever.
Right.
Gangs is regardless. I mean, a gang is us right now. Somebody come here tripping, we gonna all jump
We
up
gonna
and
gang
trip.
up on their ass.
Right. And so a gang is,
I got you.
I think they make Crips and Bloods like way more than what it should have been.
Uh-huh.
But the difference is the social media has made it where everybody can do it, and everybody can do it. And
Everybody
now
wants to do it.
I don't know nothing about
Be part of the.
where that red cup is, but I can sit there and man, that red cup. So now they over here tripping, and I'm way over here. But
In Iowa.
now they feuding because I said I'm from over here, the green shirt hood and the red cup hood. So they get into it, but they live over there. I don't.
Okay.
So social media is so easy to pump things up and make things happen out of nowhere, and and like he said, these little girls, they're looking at, well, Cardi made money. They making money.
So they
it's
thinking
more of
you
the
can.
financial than anything.
Okay.
To me, in my opinion.
Okay.
That is more about financial. So they're saying, well, if I show mine,
I
I
can
might
get
get
the
bigger
bag.
titties because everybody's shooting to Mexico to get surgery.
Okay.
You
I
know, because
understand.
man, I got a big old booty. I can twerk and make and make money.
Hey, do y'all
Okay.
like that?
Some don't look good.
Y'all like
You
that?
like what, twerking?
Builder bodies?
Nah.
No, they all don't look good.
No,
That's why I like Meg Thee Stallion.
Most
why I like Meg Thee
of them don't
Stallion.
look
Why?
good.
Meg is all natural.
That's
Is
natural.
she all natural?
Meg is all natural.
She might have got a little lift, but I don't think
positive.
she got no silicone.
She is all
I ain't
natural.
gonna lie to you. I wouldn't know.
Look,
either
he
one of
like,
them
yeah,
girls
yeah.
like
That's
that.
why she getting all these
I
points.
don't
She all
watch that. I
natural.
don't watch that.
She's like 5'10".
I don't.
Yeah, and she about to
She
graduate
almost
college
6
too.
foot.
Damn, shit. I told
Yeah,
Sean, that's why they call her the stallion.
Shout out to the stallion
Right.
getting her degree.
So like I said, I would take a Megan over Cardi any day.
But see,
Okay.
like I
Build a
said,
body.
it's hard to say,
Okay.
though, man.
Got you.
I get what you're saying as far as that, but to me, I would say let's not use them. For example, if we're just talking about women in general,
mean-
if we're talking about women in general.
I'm talking about women in general.
That's like, let me ask Miss or
Oh.
Angela. My bad, Angela. Let me
I like you said the Miss. That's
So
cool.
you got a son.
Yes, I do.
Your son walks in with a girl. Would you want that girl to be a Beyonce, or would you want her to be Cardi B?
Shit, I want him to ask somebody work at the post office. No, I'm just joking.
That's a damn good job.
Well, character. It's very hard for me to. I very rarely put a judgment on anybody, especially from first glance. I'm a slow mover, and I kind of get to know people, and I feel people's energy, and I would do that with anybody. What I would want her to see, what I would want to see is she knows she's walking in to meet his mom and see what that looks like when she walks in. Who she is, I'll figure that out.
First
But if she
impressions is a
could,
must.
but if she walking in like, let me go and meet it. Like if you come into court with house shoes on, we got a problem. Exactly. I mean, you know, and if she her, because what I generally do with everybody, I kind of want you to be you. I try when you come around me, I try to kind of want you to be who you are. Then I'll see what I'm working with. Then I'll be like, you know what, I kind of you know, kind of like that putting the phones out.
You know what's a good example? Have
What's
you guys seen what's that movie with 50 Cent, Den of Thieves?
Oh,
Yeah.
when the
You guys
little
seen that
dude,
movie?
the garage.
You
Yeah,
remember that scene?
Oh,
The
yeah,
garage.
yeah.
The garage.
His
The
daughter,
garage
his
scene.
daughter
The
comes
prom.
home
To the
and
prom.
he's like, oh, this is my prom date. Old boy comes in and he's all, dang, checking out the mall. Like, hey, you fine, man. This and that. You the dad, you looking at him like,
Right.
this who you choose? I already
Right.
know what he's about.
Yeah,
You
straight
know?
up and down.
Right. You know, you have enough sense to code switch. You know what I mean? You know, it's kind of like we talk about,
We
you
did.
know, as old as I am, I still don't curse in front of my parents, you know, unless it's essential to the joke. If I say, Mom, I'm about to joke, it's essential to what I'm, but I generally don't do that. And to me, it's code switching. You need to know who to be. I'm still being me, but there's still a way you need to be in certain people's presence,
Oh, that
right?
goes back to, like I said,
It's
when we were growing
respectful.
up, we didn't have to pull up our
Right.
pants because we knew as soon as we get in the house, pull your pants
Exactly.
up.
I
You
don't
know?
see a lot of that now.
No,
So
you don't.
if someone comes in my space and they generally know who they're in the company of, and if I see them adjust to that, I'm like, okay. And that speaks to their character a little bit. It's not a fake thing. It's a where I am thing and who.
They might have a little respect towards you.
Well,
Right.
that's,
They
and
might
that's,
know that this is where I have to
and that's
show
the
respect.
gist of
Right.
it. It's all about
Right.
whether you have respect or not, or were you brought up to have respect for your elders and not for your elders. You know, and that's what the difference is, and that's what I see with the kids today and the generations of today.
I mean, I think you're right on that, but I think it goes a little deeper than that. It's not just respect for elders; it's respect for other people.
Yeah.
Period.
I agree.
Now,
I agree.
It's a lack of respect across the board in our
Exactly.
generation,
I can
and then
agree.
it's like you start to see them take it a little too far with the
Oh.
redefinition of boundaries. Right?
Absolutely.
I can agree.
That's how you start to get these situations where you got this might be another topic, but you got girls that are, transforming the guys, but they
Right.
still competing in female sports.
Right,
Mm.
right,
If
right,
you really wanted to be about that life,
right.
that's a whole nother
No,
topic.
right,
but
I
that's
agree.
almost
topic.
That's another situation where it's disrespectful to
Right.
the women competing in that sport, right? And that's what you're starting to see all throughout society is you seeing these issues with respect, whether it's Trump and what we saw with him for the last 4 years. Start at the top, right? He was able to be disrespectful to all his staff and all the people and to the media and everything, and then it just trickles down. Then you see it in social media, then you see it in the schools, and here we are today. So it's like you said earlier, it really starts with us
Definitely.
redefining how we teach our kids or our youth what respect looks
Right.
like, right?
Right.
Right.
Going back to the basics, yes sir, no sir.
Oh, definitely.
This is how you act when you at
100%.
the dinner table. That's another thing. Cats don't eat at dinner tables no more, so they don't
very
know
true.
how they supposed to
Right.
eat when they in
This is true.
a civil setting. You know
This is
what I
true.
mean?
Absolutely.
So just little stuff.
No, and I agree.
My bad.
No, man, go speak on it.
That's like what he was saying is like is getting worse and worse as like time is going.
Right.
Because it's like one kid. Let's just get for example, somebody grows up, say they're about like 40 right now. He has a kid, but he was raised a certain way, so he doesn't know a form of respect, not just to your elder, but just in general. Like I'm a man, I have to show respect to anybody as
Right.
as a human being. You got to show respect. You know what I mean?
Right.
There's certain things that you do and you don't do that add a respect towards that other person. I don't know him. I don't know his situation. I don't know how he reacts to certain things. But it's just, this is the way I am. You
Right.
know what I mean? Like, for example, my dad wasn't in my life like that. So my grandpa was the one that was like my father figure.
Right.
You know what I mean? And he died when I was 17. He was already 91. So
Mm.
he's old.
Rest in peace.
You get what I'm saying? Thank you. But he was real old fashioned, and he was like, technically he was a manly man. You know what I mean? He was
Right.
in the military, everything. So the way I am is a reflection of him.
And I
No,
know
No, and it shows. It
In
shows.
your
It
character,
definitely
that's
shows.
what
Yes,
I'm
it definitely
saying.
shows.
Since I was younger, he was showing me respect. As a man, you do this. As
Right.
a man, you don't do this. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So I get around people that are my age, and then you can see the
The difference.
difference.
And speaking to what you said about just kindness and respect for human beings, that's what I would see if it would be my son. So, for example, if we go somewhere, how she treat the waitress, I look at that. How you treat people that you come across, I look at character. I'm a watcher. I'll say, I'll say, watch, do X, Y, and Z. I watch folk. If I get a good feeling from them, if I get energy from them, you in my space. A lot of people aren't in my space. I value my space and who I put in it. Y'all are here for that reason. You know what I'm saying?
Appreciate
It's no, and that's for real. Y'all know you know me. You know.
Let me give you an example.
Nope.
This happened.
just joking.
This happened yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
and I talked to my girl about it. I had to go to a baby shower, like I was telling you, my cousin's baby shower. He was in Oxnard, so we drove out there, and we spent the night at a hotel out there, right?
Okay.
So, in the morning when we woke up, we went down to She wanted Chick-fil-A, so we got Chick-fil-A. We come back to a hotel. It was around like 7:30 or 8 o'clock. We're walking inside the hotel, and there was a white lady over there. I don't know if you guys been there, like Oxnard area.
Mm-hmm.
There's a whole bunch of white people. You look
And
around
white
and you
people
like,
and strawberries.
minorities don't belong here. You know what I mean? And you get that vibe. So, you know, we're walking. My girl's black. You've seen her.
Yeah.
She's black. She's dark skinned, and I'm the way I am. Right. So we're walking into the hotel, and there was a white lady coming out. She looked like she was probably like 45, 50, and she has her son. She was walking in front of us. She looked dead at us, and when she was walking past, I'm talking about she's as close as he is to me. I looked at her, and when I saw her look at me, I'm like, "Good morning, how are you doing?" And I keep walking. She didn't say nothing. She looked at us and was like, kept walking.
Wow.
My girl didn't say nothing. We got to the elevator. My girl's like, "Why'd you say, like, you know, hey, how are you doing?" Like, she didn't say nothing. I'm like, babe, just because
Right.
she's disrespectful
There you go.
doesn't mean you have to be.
That's right.
There you
Just
go.
because you're
That's
not really,
right.
she don't have manners or anything, don't mean you have to be. You know what I mean? Don't feed into that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Old school,
That's
you
just-
go low, we go high.
He was definitely raised by old school ways.
Yep. No, that's for
Definitely.
real.
Definitely. Nah, definitely. See, like, I know these two young men, and I've just met you two young men, but I could tell. I know
Get
where
you
you
with your
come
young
from.
men. Get
Yeah,
your
like that. You know, get my
got
old
some
man
hard
on.
candy in your pocket.
Right. I ain't got no band outside though. But no, so but I could tell you was raised a certain way. You come from like what I come from, and I get it. But even when you spoke on, man, I got family from both sides. Oh, why the hell I'm a gangbang? You know what I mean? So I could tell
Hella
the raisins
family
that you
reunion.
had. I mean, hey, you did.
You tell 'em.
But I could tell that you guys were raised a certain way. Just when he said submissive, that did it for me. I was like, whoa, So, but you don't hear a lot of that, and you don't see a lot of that these days. Like these two, I know when it come to women, is a certain way because I know both of them was kind of majority women around them. These two dudes right here, I know for a fact. Between him with aunties and him with sisters. So, that's what they were raised by for the majority of their time, if I'm correct. So to become the men that they are, because they, with that kind of situation, you go one or two ways. You can go to that, man, I can't stand women. All I'm doing is getting on.
Right.
Or you can turn into being as I have to be straight, but they didn't. They became young men and became the men that they are. And now he's a father doing his thing and handling his business. And I already know Michael gonna do his thing. I know women and all that. You kind of like me with that. But that's the thing, but I think it all becomes the individual at times also. Like this young man, he's growing, is getting into his place. Him and my son's the same age. And they're almost like night and day,
How
to be
so?
honest with you. Because Lil Clay is Lil Clay changed girlfriends every 15 minutes, basically. Well, he has one now. He's kind of cool. If he sees this, he's going to talk shit to me, but it's cool. But he's cool. He's gotten a lot better. He does his thing and all that, but he's gone through his...
Right.
But that's also on me also.
How so?
Where
Exactly.
I left at a certain time. Get what I'm saying? But I've always been there, but I did leave. I stopped being with his mom.
Right.
But so that comes back to me. So, but that's still not going to be an excuse for him to do this and do that.
Gotcha.
Because their dad has always been there.
Right. I got you.
So
I got you. And speaking of that, after this, we'll take a break. Take a quick open the door, crack the door, get some
yes,
air.
Lord, because
get
we
some
need
sip.
some of that.
Have the woman in your life. You know what? We're not. Are the woman in your life a reflection of the man you are? And I want you to look at it another aspect, though.
Go ahead.
Okay, because there are a lot of women out there, and you guys aren't married. You can take this in. If you're not married, you're the married one here. The women in your space, is it the reflection of the man you are? Like, are you putting out what's coming your way? Do you understand what I mean? Like,
Are
are you attracting what you are? Because a prime example is I look at a lot of women that talk about the men in their lives, and while they talk about it, it's the same cat. He was just dark skinned. Okay, it's the same cat. He's just a white dude. It was the same cat. He just got benefits and he didn't. It's the same cat. The systematically. And at a point, you kind of, to me, You got to start looking within. And if I keep attracting and entertaining this same type of guy, are they the issue or are you the issue? So when I ask a man, the women, and I appreciate your wife. She sounds like a good woman. I'm talking about in your life's experiences. Are the women that you entertain a reflection of you, or have you just found your people of convenience? But when you look at those women, are they a reflection of the man you are? Or this is something I'm just doing right now.
Definitely
Or
not what
both.
I'm just doing right now.
Well, I know your wife ain't, but I'm talking about when I look at
I think you have to. It would say it depends on what you're looking for.
Okay.
Where if you're looking for a wife, then
Is any man ever looking for a wife?
Yeah,
I would think so.
Yeah.
all of them.
Yeah.
Not
That's
me,
dope.
but yeah.
You are too.
I think
Yeah,
name,
you are.
Name win.
Yeah. It ain't no name win. You are too.
Okay.
You just ain't came across it.
You go
Not
back.
looking for it.
Hey, you go back to the Tiger Woods example.
Let's go
Right.
back.
So Tiger knew, and I use Tiger because I feel like Tiger is fairly reflective of most men. He's just in a bit more of a high profile situation. But most men understand the difference between the women they entertaining and the woman that they marry.
Okay.
Right? A man will marry one and keep her completely cared for with no problem and still entertain multiple, understanding that, y'all don't belong over here, but we're going to have a good time tonight.
Very true.
When I'm in Arizona, I'm going to holler at you.
Right.
Trust me. When I'm in Vegas, hey, we got it. We on for the next couple days. But
When I'm in Cali, I'm at home.
you ain't got the key to my safe. You ain't on my
Right.
accounts. You ain't sharing the deed. You ain't got a black card. You know what I'm saying? You ain't in that situation. I might get you an apartment. I might get you.
To make it convenient.
I might get you. I might lease you a little BMW 3 Series.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
What type of? What?
But I you know what I'm saying?
3
I mean, but I ain't necessarily the situation is different. And men are able to compartmentalize that, whereas women, even when they act like that's how they doing it, that don't be how they doing it. You know, it just
Women act like they doing it this today a lot.
right,
Women, and I can say this, and women don't have the capacity
right.
to do that. We don't have the headspace. We act like we're doing it because we think that that's what you all want.
Right.
You know what I mean?
As far as what?
As far as like, if I act like, okay, we gonna do this, no disrespect, but we gonna and then all right then, and we get up, have some eggs in the morning, and that's cool with me, and that's cool with you, and that's how we're gonna leave it, and if he stopped talking to me, I wasn't tripping because my heart wasn't in it anyway.
Right.
We say that because we think that's the type of women you all want. We say that to appease ourselves and pacify ourselves. We're not made that way.
Right.
We're made to nurture and care and attach. Right. And the cold part about it is I think that's why you all want us, because we nurture, we love, we attach. But when we don't act that way, we thinking, again, we trying to, this is a perfect way to test it to me.
For who? For
You.
men or for women?
You. Both. Okay. So you got a woman that's sitting up. Well, men don't lie about that though. Men don't lie about their position. And these days you guys frankly don't have to. Right? If I was a man right now, man, I'd be this guy. But no.
Wow.
I say that I would be this guy in the way that I move, but I'm a relationship person. I'm a person that I'm slow to move, but I don't have a lot of my feet aren't in a lot of places. You know what I mean? And I value people in my life, so I treat them in a particular way. Not that you don't, but what I'm saying is, well, woman that say she's living that way, I'll test it, and I say, you know what we doing? Let's get together and get married. she'd be like, okay, but I thought that ain't what you wanted.
Right.
She was saying it because that made her more attractive to you. And that's where women are finding themselves now. And a lot of them, and if somebody says this, and I know I'm going to hear something, but a lot of us don't have a clear idea of what we want. Sometimes we know exactly what we want, but we don't want to say it because sometimes maybe we don't be alone, because I know this guy that I want does not feel this way. So I'm going to say
Right.
what I think he wants to hear, or I'm going to try and
I can
create
agree
the
with
type of scenario or situationship that I know he would be down with, because I want him in my life, rather than saying, you know what, we ain't on the same page right now. It ain't working. And pouring that water out to get what I really want to drink in that glass.
Right.
You understand what I'm
I can definitely
saying?
agree with that.
So it's a lot of not talking and dishonesty going on. And a lot of it is stemming from not being honest about what you want. And in some instances, not knowing what you want.
And
And
so,
trying to put on somebody else what I want. I want
This
this and
is
this.
true.
Do you
Right.
actually know what you want?
and honestly, to the overall thing of it, the question is, honestly, I think it's more women looking for marriage than men, in my opinion.
There's a reason for that.
In your opinion.
And I said in my opinion. So you said you looking for marriage.
Look, I honestly,
said looking for a wife.
I'm gonna ask you a
Yeah,
question.
uh-huh.
I'm gonna ask you a question. I think every man, low key, wants they equal,
I can
At the
understand
end of
that.
the day.
I can understand that.
and I think the nature of how the world is, I ain't gonna say how the world is set up, but men and women are built different. At the end of the day, no matter what the
That's
character
why,
is.
so they can
I'm gonna
fit.
say something.
But hold on. So the nature of, I think even then when a man has a person and then he's out there, that's just more of an ego stroker. He trying to still feel that he exists in this world. Because usually when you get into something, you don't feel like you exist in the world no more.
Do you feel
Because-
heard when you're in relationships?
Of course not. You you don't feel. I mean, and that goes past the alpha and the beta and all that stuff. To me personally, if you are there for your woman, you are a beta male, regardless. At the end of the
Think
day,
so.
if you're providing and doing all this other, if you're doing anything extra outside of the norm of who you are, you already been submitted and you're a beta male. It's just what it is. Alpha is only alpha is only a king in an environment that he rules.
A male
If
lion.
you don't rule your environment,
lion.
yeah, a male lion. If you
male
don't rule
lion.
your environment, then you're a beta male, regardless.
So
Technically.
Yeah.
if he's an alpha male, where we know in the household, the ideal household, the woman is the neck, right?
Right.
And he's the head. He's out there making it happen, but the idea is she's kind of turning.
She's still turning the neck, regardless.
yeah.
The man is an alpha male by how she presents herself. When he brings his wife around and how his partners react to her and stuff like that, that's where he is an alpha.
So
because
can
it's
a
kind of
man-
like, look what I got.
Okay, so can a man
Wait,
not be an alpha man
I don't know if I agree
if
with
he
that one.
submits
The trophy,
to
the
his
wife,
woman?
the trophy
Okay,
of the
okay,
wife,
okay,
the
the trophy
trophy of the
wife.
wife makes you an alpha male amongst your partners. In the household, you still gonna be beta if you're doing X, Y, Z to make sure that she's happy.
So I don't see
Now,
that.
why though? Why? All right, so you're saying that you can be an alpha male if you're submissive to her.
No, I mean, and that goes both ways. She can't rule the land and be submissive. She can be submissive and still do her part. You have to be beta and alpha at the same time. You can't be just one in the situation. It's impossible. In a relationship, it's impossible. You have to be beta at some point.
I can understand that.
There's no
I
such
get that.
thing as being
Definitely
a full
understand.
alpha in a relationship.
I thought Alpha Beta went bankrupt.
My point exactly. It didn't make sense. My point exactly. So if you're in a relationship and like I said, and there's nothing wrong with it. I think this whole beta and alpha BS is just blown out of proportion.
Definitely.
If you are, like I said, if you're doing for your wife, you're doing special stuff for your wife, you're going to get looked at to your counterpartners as, oh, you a simp, you weak, you this, you that, you beta. You get what I'm saying? But if you're running the land and if you doing whatever you want to your wife and you out here in these streets doing what you want to do, you get looked at as an alpha to your counterpartners, but you still a beta.
Right.
But I don't know. It depends on what you talking about. When you saying partners, you talking about your circle, right?
I'm talking about your
sphere of
circle.
influence, right?
Correct.
And that's kind of where that what you're saying gets a little convoluted, right?
Right.
If my partners is all CEOs, executives with housewives at the crib, they all consider themselves alphas. They might,
Right.
and they consider themselves alphas because they
But hold on.
is comfortable
But
at
hold
the
on.
crib.
But hold on. Is he paying for everything?
Right.
He's a beta.
See, and that, but that,
You
and
get what I'm saying?
But that, again, that's where it looks different, right?
Right.
Because in they circle, if he's not paying for everything, he's a beta. If she's paying for stuff, he's the beta.
Well, it depends
Where
on the
is-
circle.
I can understand. Yeah, I can
No,
understand.
I
both.
understand what you're
If you
saying.
top dog, you supposed to be running the show.
I
Running
understand.
the ship.
You look, you running the
That's
show.
what I'm saying.
You running the show, but if you coming home kissing your wife's feet, making sure that she's good, you're in beta mode, regardless.
No, I-
regardless,
That's all
if
how
you're an
you look at
alpha,
it.
you don't give a, you don't
both
care
you
about
guys-
nothing but yourself.
So now
You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So you, no matter what, if you're
But usually
providing,
if-
you're more beta than anything else.
But that's
There's nothing
saying-
wrong with
but
it.
See, that's a different type of alpha, right?
No, that's a different type of beta.
That's a different type of guy.
That's
period.
not an alpha.
Which
That
one you talking
guy
about? Are
is
we
just
talking about the pimp?
Animal Kingdom.
That, right. That's
Yeah.
a,
We're
that's
talking
a
about the
pimp.
pimp. Are we talking about the pimp?
Right. You're
'Cause
talking
basically what
about
you're saying
a
is
pimp,
a
a
pimp is
Pimp is an
player.
alpha.
Right.
Is what he's saying.
You're saying
A pimp is an alpha.
You're saying the only
this is what I
alpha-
do.
Wait,
This is how I move, and this
Right,
is what
but
I
how-
and XYZ.
Get
now,
with
can
it
a
or get
pimp
on.
have a wife
right.
and still move the way he moves?
does. But a lot do.
A pimp has a bottom,
Mm-hmm.
right? But at the end of the day, he mess around and marries his bottom and calls himself a square. Any pimp that has married his bottom, she's
but-
considered as a square, and is basically letting you know I became beta.
But she's bringing all.
get what I'm
she's
saying?
bringing the money to him.
She bringing the money to
She
him.
bringing to the money him if he's a pimp. Yeah,
Right.
if she's
That shit
providing that, yeah, he's still saying this is what I want in XYZ. Whoever's
Right.
saying what I want and that person's providing, you are the alpha and
That's
they're
true.
the beta.
She's doing
That's
it even
true.
though she's bringing in the money.
Right.
She's
Right.
doing it because
He's running the show.
Because he's running the show. But if he's going out there and he runs businesses and stuff and he's still giving her everything that she wants
Right.
and he's taking care of her,
That's
you're
what-
the beta.
that's
You're
why I say
you're
the
you're
only-
being
if she-
pimped.
if
The only,
Like, at the end of the day-
the only legit alpha is a lion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They got the cave all day
Oh
long.
yeah, we're gonna take a break.
Well, he only has one
'cause I don't
job.
know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Keep
it in.
kill
And look,
hyenas.
and
Yeah,
look.
and knock down everything.
And look, to each his own. To each his own. If you provide for your wife and you believe in certain things, cool.
Now, see, that's
XYZ.
what we that's what
You
we
know
spoke
I
on
mean?
before you guys got here. There's a difference. Also, I was going to speak on that real quick.
Okay.
That a wife don't count as this my girl or this my girlfriend. Now, if she's fiance, potential to be girlfriend, then I
Right.
understand you changing your ways.
Right.
But when I'm saying if anything he does for his wife, that counts to me as being a man and handling his business.
Yeah, being a man and being beta and alpha is all different.
Right, that's what I'm saying. But
It's all
but
different.
that's what I'm saying. But no, at the same time, he's going to be the alpha of his home. You get what I'm saying?
No.
Why? How's he not?
No.
he can still
I
be
think
both.
the opposite.
You can look, you like I said, you can be an alpha if everything goes the way you want it to go.
But okay, time out.
Regardless.
So basically, you're saying you can't
Essentially,
be both.
a happy wife
No,
is
you
a
can't be
happy
both.
life.
So there's,
If
he's
if
just a man of his house.
control-
Then
That's what he's saying.
You can look, you gotta watch exactly. So if
Yeah.
it's at times, you're not an alpha. You're
I
a
get it,
beta.
but this is what
She's
I'm saying.
letting you be an alpha
Okay,
in
so-
certain moments. She's like saying, "All right, go ahead, baby."
So then
Yeah.
there is no
and
alpha.
then she pulls
so
that
like
leash
I
back.
just said, then the only alpha is a male lion,
Yeah,
basically.
real talk. Or
Yeah.
an environment that you run. If you run the environment, then
We
that's
know
just what
we
it
know
is.
this. I don't give a damn if you're a pimp or not. Everybody turns into a simp later on and down the line.
I mean, simp is a whole nother.
I mean,
another
it's all the same.
definition.
It's
I mean,
all the same.
simp- I mean,
It's all the
there's
same.
no benefits in being a
It's
simp.
person
We get
is
it.
That's the whole
probably-
point about being a
so
simp.
We know that.
summation is if you're in a relationship, it's back and forth. There is no alpha, but the
Right.
the
You
pure.
submit to it. You let it go. There's
Right.
no alpha and beta no more.
There
It
is.
doesn't
I mean,
exist
right.
no
And
more.
sometimes
You
being
either
an
more
alpha-
beta
Right. That
or
sounds-
it's
makes
just
more
that don't
sense.
exist.
Like I said, lion's the only alpha there is.
Yeah, you
Okay.
can't.
Lion, honest with
If
you.
you're paying on, you're beta. If you're taking care of somebody else, you're a beta. Like, let's be real about it. You're going to go work for somebody else.
I mean, if you're going by definition,
Here's my thing.
I
on
can
it.
get a
Here's
maid.
my
I can get a
thing on it.
prostitute. Like, what are we talking about here?
If we can agree that lions is the true alpha, right?
Mm-hmm.
You look how lions move. Usually a lion will move with one alpha lion with a pack of about three to
Right.
four female lions.
right?
Their
Here
job is
you
to go
go.
hunt and get everything.
Right.
Lion is sleeping and chilling all day, and they bring back the food until
Yep.
something happens, or they trying to hunt something that's a little too big, and
Then
then
he gonna
big
help
dog
out.
got to come
Exactly.
Right.
and slay,
Right.
slay
Exactly.
for the crowd.
Right.
Exactly.
Now the key part is when he get too old and he can't do that job no more,
Another
the female
come on.
lions will turn around and turn on him, kill him, eat him, and they're gonna find another
9
alpha.
times out of 10,
So-
another alpha comes in,
Right.
and takes over anyway.
So if we
Right.
turn that into reality, if he loses his job,
Right.
if he can't provide no more,
Bingo.
You're
ED.
Then
Right.
what is it?
Right, right.
Then
Now that's a question. Now that's a question I got.
Okay.
Why would if your man went to that state, but we need more women for that? Would you leave?
Would you leave? Women won't leave. Women, they'll
Would you?
go to a doctor's appointment. Would I? No.
What if it was that he couldn't anymore? Period.
he
What you
couldn't
mean,
anymore?
between
Period.
What's a period?
Couldn't what?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I said
ED.
ED.
She said ED.
He can't get it
Correct.
up.
Yeah.
Oh, like
He can't no more. Period.
Yeah, erectile dysfunction.
Erectile dysfunction.
Done data.
Would you leave?
Would I just go?
No, I'm not saying just go, but
I mean,
I'm
we
saying,
have to have a
would you
contract.
cheat?
Yeah, we
I
have to
wouldn't cheat. I'm not
understand.
I'm not
Okay.
a cheater. I don't cheat. But
I'm
I
saying-
have conversations with people.
Because the
That's-
pool boy gonna start looking good to you.
I mean-
I'm just saying.
and that's a conversation. I think,
The term cheat is another
no,
term.
listen.
It's like, how did that
no,
become?
listen. Would you say, no? Were you being facetious?
No, I'm
But
serious.
No,
I'm serious.
I think cheating is.
when you lying,
Right.
I know it
keeping
is.
secrets.
It is.
That's it.
But to me, cheating is when you talk about Darwinism. Cheating is lower level.
Okay.
You understand what I mean? I want to have conversations. You know, what's funny is when I have relationships, I have conversations, and I'll be like, we ain't really feeling each other like we was, huh? And can we get past it? Can we get better, or do you need to go do what you need to do, and I need to go what I need to do? And people think I'm weird because I like to talk. I'm like, hey, you know, it was too much salt in that that you made. You know, we're gonna talk, but we're not gonna act like that wasn't as salty as it was. Let's have a conversation about it, as opposed to me sitting up and building resentment for you, which is what people do, and then it becomes, oh, I got one up on him because he slept with my auntie. Okay, well, I got one up on her because she went in my account, and
That's
then
a
it.
special kind of.
But do you understand though? It
No,
ends
no, I
up
think-
being the one up on each other, and I
But I
never
think-
want to be on a one
I
up
think that's one
on
of the
relationship.
baddest things with relationships.
That's the best thing women do.
There's no communication.
Women, see, there you go. See, there's no. Okay,
A lack of
let's talk
communication.
about
The
it.
revenge is
We
the worst.
talked about a father and a mom and having more of a mom. And do you come from good communication?
Wait a minute, let's take a break.
Oh, yeah,
Okay,
when I'm to
let's
this-
take a break.
Put a pin in that.
Think about it. We'll put a pin in it.
Yeah, we put a pin in it.